What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening? You know what it is. You know what it is. I gotta go at it one more time. Just gotta stay in a show and prove your hard body with this. So basically, we're gonna go after the other half today, straight up. Okay, because you got the city who was supposed to do their part, where they say these, dealing with the property, they're supposed to give old boy those summonses and that. We discussed that in the last couple of videos. And that I'm gonna go at it with the insurance company who was paid in full and what they were supposed to do, right? And what are they governing? Okay, see, the key thing is when you get your insurance and then you get your home, when you get your homeowner insurance, go through everything. Go through all your documents and the whole 9 yards, so you'll know. Because when you don't go through your documents and that, and you don't read it, like I said, if you don't know the law is dirty, man. It won't tell you what's what. It'll just let you feel it in that, So like, basically, you got to do your own homework. Don't listen to them. Well, let me phrase it. Listen to them, but still do your own homework so that you get it right. So the key thing I'm going at right now is like, okay, when the chimney came down and all of that, the insurance company was contacted beforehand. So, oh boy, he comes in you would get the claims adjuster. So the claims adjuster, let's say the claim was made in December, right? He shows up in February. So when you talk to them, you're like, yo, you was like negligent in it. Or I can show up anytime I want. This is what they tell you because they feel you don't know what's what. I don't know if you can see it's backwards. If you don't, let me go to you real quick. Right? This is New York Consolidated Law, Insurance Law, SIC, subsection 2601. Okay? Unfair claim settlement practices and penalties. Unfair claim settlement practices and penalties. Let's go with A. No insurer doing business in this state shall engage in unfair claim settlement practices. Any of the following acts by an insurer, if committed without just cause and performed with such frequent as to indicate a general business practice, such constitutes unfair claim settlement practices. Okay, we're going to go with number one. It says knowingly misrepresenting to the claimants are pertaining to facts or policy provisions relating to coverage as at issues. Caught that? So they got to tell you the full deal with your facts as in reference to your policy. What are you really covered in? I remember I was in the hotel when this all went down, and he had the insurance, but New York doesn't have flood insurance, so the basement flooded out, and old boy wasn't covered. He made it happen. He went to his people. He made it happen. All right, let's go to number two. It says failing to acknowledge with reasonable promptness pertinent to communication as to claim arise under its policy. So if you call and say this and that happened, and you file a complaint, or not a complaint, you filed a claim, they got to contact you with some communication. Okay, he did the communication. Yeah, all right, I'll be there. Okay, all right, this is middle of December. I'll be there before the month is out. But he doesn't show up. Okay, then another claim was put in, and he still didn't show up. So then we're going to go to number, what's this? Number 3, because we did number 2. Number 3 would be failing to adopt and implement reasonable standards for prompt investigation of claims arising under its policy. You got to get there in time to do a proper investigation. And if you don't, come on, man. Well, your action speaks for itself. So we're going to go to number 4. Not attempting in good faith to execute prompt, fair, and equitable settlement of claims submitted in which liability has become reasonably clear, except where there is a reasonable base supported by specific information available for review by the department that the claimant has caused the loss to occur by arson. After receiving a prompt executed proof of loss, the insurer shall advise the claimant of acceptance of or denial of the claim within 30 days. Within 30 days. Within 30 days. All of it should be within 30 days. But you get this, come on, man. You got to respond. Oh, what is this? Number 5, compelling policyholders to institute suits to recover amounts due under its policy by offering substantially less than the amount ultimately recovered in suit brought by them. So if you're going for that suit, we're going to try to go underneath. Okay. Okay. I see what you're working with. Then it says, failing to promptly disclose. What was that? Yeah, that would be 56. Failure to promptly disclose coverage pursuant to subsections D or subparagraph A of paragraph 2 of subsection F of section 3, which is 3,420 of the charter. You got to know the law to get all of that. Then it says over here, number 7 is submitting reasonable rendering claims to the independent dispute resolving process established under Article 6 of the Financial Services Law. See, they say you got a Financial Services Law, so you need to pull that down, PDF it, and read it. Or 8, where it says, what's this? Officially deflating. I'm not lying. Artificially deflating or otherwise lowering cost data used for adjusting claims or use cost data that is not appropriate for the region of the state where the loss occurred. This shall include, but is not limited to, the claims adjusted by a person issued a temporary permit pursuant to subsection N of section 2108 of the charter. Then it goes to D. This is B. And it goes to evidence as the number of types of complaints to the department against the insurer, and as to the department complaints experienced with other insurers. Written similar lines of insurers shall be admissible in evidence in any administrative or judicial proceeding under the section of Article 24 of 74 of this charter. Blah 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 blah. But it was the main ones up here. It was the main ones, because I even highlighted it. It was the main ones, which was basically A, and then you go down to number 2. It's 1, 2, and 3, to be exact, of A. So when he didn't show up on time in the whole 9 yards, what he really was counting on was the fact that, something was wrong on my part. So what was wrong on my part is he seen that the house was adjacent to a yard where there was parked vehicles there. So it's like, oh, did you, he already knew. You didn't complain about that? The city allowed this guy to do parking over there? this could be the cause of it. I see how he even went in the yard where it sunk down in. So you can't say he didn't know. But his goal was, as the adjuster, was, oh, we're not paying. Because he came out of his mouth like, I'm not paying you nothing. Excuse me? You're not paying me what? You see? Dude, pump your brakes. See, because what you're trying to do is get me emotionally compromised when you say that, where you're going to get me to act up and then get into something. But the real thing is, you're not paying me nothing. Your employer may be paying, but you're not paying nothing. Now, we're going to move forward. Let's move all the way forward, where he says, we're not paying you nothing, yada, 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 yada. So I further contacted his office in reference to what they did in the whole 9 yards. So they felt guilty. So they responded like in June. And they cut a check. The check that they cut was basically for the hotel fees. Because it says it in the policy that you're entitled to hotel fees as they supposed to do the repairs. But they thought it was best to say, like, like, what the hell with this dude? It's just him. You know the deal. The hell with him. It's just him. We're gonna just let this drop. Not a problem. We're gonna go by their first actions. The first action was an action of gross negligence. How long it took for you to get there? 2 months. The claim is already in. It shouldn't take you 2 months to get there. No, not at all. There's no reason for it taking 2 months. When you call these people and you try to speak to them, they'll tell you any old thing. Stop listening to them. PDF it. Matter of fact, Google it. Pull up the information. Once you find the information, PDF the information, then read the information. Then use that information against them. Because there are rules, regulations, and laws. You got to understand, this is a business. Okay? And your business operating in the state of New York, which is a corporation, which is also a business. No. It's what we call 349 deceptive practices. It's deceptive. It's basically on the deceptive practice, but it's deceptive. They changed it around, but it's basically deceptive practices. Where you're doing these things in the whole 9 yards, which also brings you to the fact of the same thing, 3 times the amount on the treble award, treble awards and that. It's the same thing. It comes to the same situation. So what you got to do is you got to catch these people in their violation of their corporate compliance policy, in their violation of their contract. And I do have their contract. So, it's like, when the situation happened and they were like, well, where are your documents? And I'm like, they're inside. And it's like, okay, well, he can't get to these documents. So we're going to do what we want to do. Sure about that? Sure about that? Because, in today's world, you could PDF all of these documents. Not only can you PDF it, but yet and still, you don't know what I did prior to that. Oh, people get the bill. And the bills are all over the place. You're going to have them in the car or something, wherever. And I remember the fella who bought me this. He was like, do you got a copy of the bill? And here we go. And I said, yeah, I got a copy of the bill. And he was like, that's all we need. And this would be, I hooked it up. I put the picture inside. But that right there is their contract. See the thing right there? This is their contract. And then when they contract, it basically tells you what, what's what. It even tells when the contract expired. Okay? The contract is basically their, you make sure you get a number of the pictures. The contract is basically their policy that you take out. And that, because once you signed it, it's a contract. Once you sign anything, it's a contract. So when I went to their office, the young lady who basically helped me out in the whole 9 yards, when I got the policy, when I spoke to her about the situation, she basically said, let me check for you. And she checked in their system. And she's like, wait a minute now, nothing's here. And I'm like, what? She said, something's supposed to be here. There's nothing here. What's going on with this? I said, you tell me what's going on. Because your guy, his actions was gross negligence and gross misconduct. So what's going on? And even to the point where he would let's go there. Like you'll see in the picture, his supervisor had to come out there. The supervisor only came because he was negligent. He came on a later date. That would be in June. The funny thing about it is when he first came and showed up, and he's like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, and I'm like, dude, like he's from Long Island. I don't like dealing with Long Island. And he's like, I'm not paying this, I'm not paying that. That same officer, that same supervisor that went with me to Teamsters was sitting in my Navy looking right at him. And he happened to be, she happens to be covered under their same insurance. And they had a situation at their house as well. And she called her mom and said, what do this guy look like? My mother told him, and it was the same claim agent. We got to do something about these people coming in our neighborhoods and be like, no, we're not giving you this. What do you mean you're not giving me? You're not paying me. Do your employer pay you to say that? Do you supersede your employee? I'm not paying you nothing. What do you mean you're not paying? You're here to assess the situation, take down your information, conduct your little basic investigation, and pass it on to your employer. That's it. You're not to be telling people, oh, I'm not paying you this and that. Well, how dare you? How dare you do something like that? Who are you to say something like that? You're an employee. You're not the owner. I don't see your name on any of the documents. And then the beautiful thing about it is there's cameras on the block that shows when you showed up. And even when I was out, I was told that you were caught talking to the owner of that lot, sneaking in, taking pictures in the whole 9 yards. So y'all got your little story together on what it is y'all wanted to do. Okay, really doesn't matter to me. Why? First action. What was his first action? The owner's first action was gross negligence as far as violation of the city's, policies and procedures by parking those vehicles in the R5 or R6 residential zone, which caused the injury. Now, he only came out to talk to you so that you wouldn't put the hammer on him. He just filled your head with a bunch of stuff. Go ahead, get him. He's this, he's that. Notice that. Right? And then you're looking at the fact of, well, he do park there. So the key thing was, you should have been like saying, you know what? Let me do my investigation and find out if this guy was ever issuing any summonses. How long was he parking here? He's been parking here for this long. Okay. Let me find out if he was ever issued any summonses. You know what I'm saying? Because it looked like it's actually caused by this parking. So let me get the building inspector or the building engineer out here. Okay. And that was the one who told on you in reference to you not showing up in the proper amount of time. It was your building engineer, the first one that showed up on February 15th. Your building engineer told us. He told us. He said, you put this in December? And I said, yes. And we're just now getting here? Yes. I said, that's an act of gross negligence, isn't it? And he said, yes, it is. Now, let's go to the fact of who assigned that building engineer to come there and do a survey of the building. You must understand if there's something there that's going on, you assess the situation as quick as possible. Why? Because it could keep getting worse. It could keep progressing. Do you want to attack the situation now, or you wanted to get all the way to the end where it goes beyond the policy? Well, we're only paying 200, 300,000. Really? But you was negligent in your actions, which brings about mental anguish. Why? Because the person's stressed out and they're worried. So let's go further. back to the matter at hand, where we say first action. You got the individual who owns the lot, who with his illegal activity is a violation of city's policies and procedures in the whole 9 yards. All right, under their contract, and then you have this individual who's a representative of the insurance company, who actually is in violation of his corporate compliance policy by gross negligence and gross misconduct. The negligence is not responding in the proper time. That's definitely defined in that subsection 2601. That's definitely defined right there. So the mere fact when you talk to these people and they just try to throw you an onion, like you're getting nothing. Google it. It's different now. It's different now. Years ago, you got a lot of people who were stuck on it and they suffer. It's incredible how I went on Facebook and I seen how many people who was under this organization or who had insurance with this organization, and they basically was got beat. And they said they had that this organization has an extensive history of not paying out its claims. You could go on Facebook and find it. Pull up the agency, and you'll see it where the complaints is in. I even spoke to some people who work for them. They're like, "No, we do this." No, you don't. No, you don't. You put people in hardship. Your key thing is take the money and run. Your actions dictate what you do. But yet, still, like I said, why did he come in June and give up that check? If you're not paying, explain your actions on why you give up that check. It's self-explanatory right there. You knew you was guilty of something. So look, I forgot. I had an individual who was trying to give me. I was so fed up. I was like, I just want to get rid of it. And they had an individual who was willing to give me an apartment. And I was going to take the apartment. Funny thing is, family member was in that apartment. They had just moved out. We go there, and I'm with Frankie Bedtime's family, and the individual's coming upstairs. So I look down, and I'm like, and he said, "Here they come now." I said, "That's them right there?" And I heard them talk, and when I heard them talk, I spoke. And then they heard me talk, and they identified. I said, "That's my cousin." Just like that. So I don't know what went down afterwards, but the fella reneged. Not a problem. Not a problem. We're still going to go on these first actions. And the first action is the violation of their own corporate compliance policies. All right? And then even the owner of Lot A, violation of city code. What's that? Over the curb parking of motor vehicles. And it's still ongoing. Wonderful track record. Wonderful track record. It's now you just got to get all of these local politicians that's involved in that district. What are you to do? What are your responsibilities in reference to this illegal activity? I'm a constituent suffering. I mean, and the key thing is that this should have been handled a long time ago. You don't tell the constituent when you know there's certain rules, regulations, and laws governed by the city and the state that were violated, and you in public office, and you tell them, well, go sue them yourself. You go deal with that. And you only got 3 years to deal with it if you're going to sue us. You only got, No, that's causing hardship. That's causing hardship. And then the key thing, there was something that you were supposed to do, such as issuing those summonses, and you didn't do so, did you? So you deprived me of the right. I would bring in that Jackie Robinson as well with you because of your gross negligence and gross misconduct. See, the key thing is the insurance company said, I'm not paying because the city's letting this go. Let them take it up with the city. Better yet, let's take it up with the state. You operate in business in this state, aren't you? Then handle your business. Then you go after the city and have the city go after that owner of that lot. But as far as I'm concerned, you were paid for service. You have to handle your service. And sweetness is, oh, we did an inspection after. Did you do an inspection when you came and when you first took the check? What? Did you do an inspection when you first took the check? No. Did you cash the check? Yeah. Did you do an inspection after you cashed the check? No. That's on you, baby. The contract is not in void. That's on you. We're going to keep this going. We're going to keep this going. So, on like I said, stick with your documentation, the whole 9 yards. Download everything in the whole 9 yards as far as the rules, regulations, and laws, as far as their corporate compliance under their business laws in the whole 9 yards, or on how they're supposed to operate their business within the city and the state, and then how they put, as you being a constituent, as you being a homeowner, as you being a customer. Make sure you download everything and show what they're obligated to do in reference to that. And then once you get all of that material, then you go after them. Like I'm doing right now, just downloading and going after you. So on that note, you know the deal. The facts cannot be altered nor denied. You guys have a wonderful Sunday. Yo, Mike, I'm calling you out, Mike. I'm rocking your goodie, all right, Mike? Oh, y'all don't know which Mike. That would be Mike from Bigger and Better Things. All right? Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'm out.